Welcome to the Sports Card Talk Show. Sports Card Talk Show with Kevin Anderson and Lauren Walker, the Skol Brothers.
Welcome to episode 54 of the Sports Card Talk Show. We got a little Monday Mount Rushmore action going tonight. Who's going to join us tonight?
We're doing the Cowboys, and Bill from R&B sportscards is going to represent those Cowboys.
Awesome. Well, I think first we got to say we finally got our stuff up.
Yeah.
From our visit with Marcus down there. At Marcus Way on Instagram, is that what it is?
Yep.
WEYH.
And if you watched that episode, we said we're going to be walking out of here with one of these I Am Groots. And we couldn't decide which one we wanted, so we walked out with two.
And there's only 20 of them made, man, so that's awesome.
Yeah, and this is our one-of-one Sports Card Talk Show canvas, I guess is what we'll call it.
I guess, yeah.
So
awesome.
We
had to show that off a little bit, and I think we better get them on the line, huh?
Yeah, we better. Ringling ding dong.
All right, we got Bill on the line from R&B Sports Cards. Thanks for joining us and helping us out with the Cowboy Mount Rushmore.
No problem. Thanks for having me, guys.
Hey, Bill.
So we're excited to hear about this. When we were like digging into it a little bit, we're like, man, there's a lot of names. I don't know how you're going to narrow this down. So good luck to you.
Right.
So if you want to,
it's better to have more guys to choose from, right?
Exactly. It's a good problem to have.
Exactly.
And for you right now, it's probably good to look at the greats of the franchise rather than what the team's putting on the field right now.
I'm with you 100% on that one.
I think Lauren's been waiting to have a comment like that.
I'll stop right there.
Oh, too funny.
I got to rib a little bit.
Oh yeah, it's all right. Well, we just lost to the Bills, we live here, so trust me, I've heard it all.
Oh, I bet.
I'm sure. So you want to jump in with some honorable mentions? Should we start there?
Sure.
All right.
So my first honorable mention, and it kind of even ribs you guys a little bit, is going to be Herschel Walker. because that trade,
okay, he wasn't on our list at all.
but that trade set us up for all our Super Bowl wins in the 90s.
Oh, it should have been called
those guys.
Should have been called the Minnesota Cowboys.
Exactly. It got us everything, so many draft picks that it set us up for years to come. So that was a huge point.
Oh yeah. That was great, Bill. Good jab.
So my second honorable mention, I'm going to be Tony Dorsett.
Oh yes.
I struggle with possibly having him in the Mount Rushmore. I see somebody else that would be better in the Mount Rushmore, so that's why I had him as an honorable mention. My third honorable mention is going to be Troy Aikman.
Okay. His
announcer days kind of lowered him down a little bit in my book, so I'm not a big fan of him as an announcer. But he was a great quarterback. I just don't see him as our top quarterback, for the Cowboys.
Sure.
And then my fourth honorable mention, and my dad would kill me if I didn't say that, would be Randy White. That's his favorite player. He loves Randy White. He was a beast. He was Super Bowl MVP. So that would be my fourth honorable mention guy. And then when we start going into the Mount Rushmore, I'd have to have Emmitt Smith be my first guy. He's the all-time leading rusher, even though he didn't get some of those yards with us. When we played, that was the foundation of our team when we won the Super Bowl. So I would say he has to be first and foremost one of our top guys on there.
You kind of question how good Troy Aikman would have been if he didn't have, would Troy Aikman, if he wasn't handing the ball off constantly to Emmett and was able to throw the ball, if he would have put up better numbers,
Yeah, absolutely. And, he only had to throw for 200 yards a game when we had him.
Yeah. I mean, the Cowboys just, those teams with Emmett just ran and set up. I mean, Troy Troy only had to throw whenever he, had to throw,
Absolutely. And work with that play action off that.
Yeah.
That's why our guys were wide open, Alvin Harper and these guys down the field.
Yep.
So my second Mount Rushmore guy is going to be from the triplets also. I'm a Michael Irvin. Back then, Michael Irvin was our, anytime we needed a big play, he was not the best guy off the field, but, every time we needed a big play, Michael Irvin was like the spark plug of our team. And I would say he was our best receiver in our history. I mean, obviously we have Drew Pearson and some other guys up there, but I would take Michael Irvin as our number one receiver. My criteria of what I kind of did was a quarterback, a running back, a receiver, and then our top defensive player in terms of our Mount Rushmore. So quarterback, I said Roger Staubach.
Yep.
It was tough between Roger Staubach and Troy Aikman. And even, for our all-time leading passer and all our passing numbers is Tony Romo. I wouldn't put Tony Romo up there, but numbers-wise, Tony Romo's, the best numbers quarterback we've had. But Roger Staubach was the classic cowboy, so I had to put him on there. And then my last one, it was tough because I was fighting with who's the best defensive player in Cowboys history. You know what I mean? And it's like you got so many guys to choose from. And still, thinking about it now, I'm like, wow, I picked DeMarcus Ware.
Oh,
I
wow.
love DeMarcus Ware. He had, tons of sacks for us. I mean, it wasn't times when we were winning, but, he was the foundation of our defense. Like I said, there was Harvey Martin, Too Tall Jones. I mean, there's a million guys
Bob Lilly, dude.
Up there. Yeah, Bob Lilly, Chuck Howley. There's a million of them. I went with DeMarcus Ware because that was one of my favorite players.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yep.
When I was watching, and I just think he was like an animal when we just didn't use him right. He went to Denver and look, he won a Super Bowl, right? Him and Von Miller, we just didn't have the right tools to use him.
Yep.
And then for face of the franchise, that's also very tough because I'm going to go with Tom Landry.
Nice.
Just because Tom Landry was that he was that old school guy from the old days. I remember when I first started watching Cowboys, Tom Landry was the coach. It was just back in those days, it was it was almost like guys didn't worry about getting fired. It was just you're the coach.
Yep.
Until you passed away, or you didn't want to be coach anymore. That was it, But,
my childhood is just Cowboys were synonymous with Tom Landry sitting there with that fedora on his head. Yeah, he looked so stoic and just so. You looked at him and you just wanted to respect the guy. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I only got to see Tom Landry on the sideline for a few years before before Jerry and Jimmy showed up. But, yeah, I still think that Tom Landry
Jimmy Johnson was a close second to me.
Oh, yeah.
He turned us around,
Oh, for sure. Yeah, like I said, you had a tough job, man.
Absolutely.
Because also, where do you put Jerry in Cowboys history?
Yeah, I mean he's there. I mean, a lot of people don't really. I don't mind him. You know what I mean? I wish he'd stay out of some of the stay off the media and stay out of some of the just talking about things and getting people riled up
3 times a week.
Exactly. But he's also willing to put the money in and he wants to win more than anything. And you know what I mean? There's a lot of owners out there that don't.
Yep.
And don't care. So you got to appreciate a guy that wants to win and cares. I think he cares sometimes a little too much. He's kind of turned it over a little bit to his son, who seems to know a little more and back off a little bit. But he just wants to run his mouth,
He's a billionaire fanboy who owns a football team is what he is.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. He got to build his own stadium. He got to do it. He gets to do whatever he wants.
Yep.
He pretty much is the example of what all of us would probably be like if we were owners of our own football team.
It's got to be frustrating, you know what I mean? You keep drafting these guys, you pay the guys, and then that's what you put out. What you saw, what he put out on the field on Thursday. So,
yeah, it's
He seems to be a bit loyal too, because I feel like Jason Garrett is probably should have been fired a couple years ago.
Oh, definitely. I've been calling for him to get fired for a couple of years. We have the most predictable offense. I'm like, this guy's an offensive guru. It's the most predictable thing I've ever seen in my life, you know?
The talking heads call him the clapper because he just sits on the sideline and claps.
The clapper, I've heard the ginger puppet. It's just...
Oh.
What do you think they're going to do? They signed Zeke to the big one, but they got a couple more that are coming up. I mean, what do you do? Uh-oh.
I still there?
Yep.
We go.
Oh, there we go.
I think it's for Prescott, to keep Prescott. You know, Prescott really wasn't that great until we got Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
So I think you got to hurry up and sign one of them so you can franchise the other one if you can't sign them both.
Right.
Because I don't think Dak Prescott's as valuable without Cooper.
Yep.
For the money you're going to pay Dak, and I like Dak, don't get me wrong, you could draft a quarterback, and you know, there's a lot of weapons in Dallas to put around a young quarterback.
Right.
Dude, when the Vikings played the Cowboys a few weeks ago, Dak is for real. I watch from afar, but I mean when they're playing our team, you pay a lot closer attention. And Amari Cooper, man, those sideline catches he was making that whole night long was like, I mean, Chris Carter would have been blown away by a lot of those catches.
Absolutely, he's a great player, and he's not a loudmouth receiver. One of these guys, nowadays receiver. He's a quiet guy. You gotta like those guys like that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, I was really impressed with both Dak and Amari that night. I'm like, holy cow, because I haven't thought much about either of those guys. But you know how it is with the Cowboys and the Star. They get like, you guys get talked to about way more than.
Oh, absolutely. I can't, believe me, when they lose, I can't even watch ESPN for like 2 days because that's every show. It's the same thing. Let's bring in this guy to talk about how bad the Cowboys are.
The Cowboys get talked about no matter if they're good or bad.
Absolutely.
Oh man. Awesome.
Well, I really like I really love DeMarcus Ware. So I honestly thought you were going to go with Bob Lilly there, but I can't argue with you on DeMarcus Ware either. He's just a class act guy too, dude.
Absolutely. I remember when he was drafted, he was always, I loved him. And it was like, we drafted a guy out of Troy, and you were like, oh boy. Some guy from a small school back then, remember, it was always rough. You're like, is this guy going to be ready?
Yeah.
Also, right off the bat, we're like, wow, this guy's great.
Yeah.
He was like one of the first Von Millers, where he got the speed coming off the edge, real fast. And you're like, wow, like this, who is this guy,
Yep.
But like I said, we wasted his good years because our offense at that point, we weren't, couldn't put it together.
Sure.
Because the Cowboys are in the NFC, and so they're even though they're not in our division, I don't like the Cowboys, but there's a lot of players on the Cowboys. I always really liked Tony Romo. I always liked Jason Witten. Always liked DeMarcus Ware. You guys got a lot of guys that are just really cool dudes. Really, just pros. So
absolutely.
I think the Sean Lee guy seems like he can't stay on the field, it seems like. But I even like this year, I really like that Van Der Esch. I like Jalen Smith. I like Jalen Smith a lot. DeMarcus Lawrence seems to be a pro. And you like guys that don't make a lot of noise in the media, like some dudes.
Absolutely. Well, especially in Dallas, we had T.O. where they were just following him around all day. That's all it was. What's T.O. going to say today? What's he going to do?
Yeah.
Sit-ups in his front yard. Is he going to? What's he going to do today?
Right.
Yeah.
Let's go to Ed Werder and see what Terrell Owens is doing today.
Oh man, that's awesome. I think. Boy, yeah, that was really good. I don't know if I don't think we can really add anything.
No. Like I said, I mean, I thought you were gonna go with Bob Lilly. I really like DeMarcus Ware. There's didn't like the Herschel Walker.
Oh man.
Oh, that was great though.
That was awesome.
I loved it though. I did. Oh yeah, that was. I didn't really even see that coming, man.
No. His name is not written down anywhere, so we're not expecting that at all. That's awesome.
Should have known though. Should have known.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think we're just trying to wipe that part from our memory.
To tell you the truth, I remember when we traded for Herschel, there was a lot. I was excited. Vikings fans were really excited. We thought he was the missing piece.
He was awesome.
We thought he was the missing piece, and we were going to the Super Bowl the next year because we lost to the Redskins in the conference championship the year before. Like, it went down to the last play of the game practically, and so we're like, awesome, we got Herschel Walker. Now we're gonna win the Super Bowl. Oh my god,
far from it.
Oh man. And then whenever you get brought up as the worst trade in the history of sports.
Of sports, not just football, of sports.
Or the best trade, depending on what side you're on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh man, well, we certainly appreciate you coming on to rep the Cowboys on the Mount Rushmore.
No problem.
Anything else you want to bring up? I mean, I know you guys are pumping out great stuff over there, and we really enjoy watching and interacting with you guys on IG and Instagram, and yeah, it's been a blast.
Yeah, we just like to open cards and let everybody watch. You know what I mean? It's a good time. We're opening them anyway, so you might as well put them on video. So
yeah, awesome. Anything else, Lauren?
Oh no, I love Ron and Bill. So
yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. We appreciate you guys, and we'll be talking to you real soon again. I think we'll wrap up the episode. If you want to stick on the phone for a second, we'll chit chat, and this will bring episode 54. Monday Mount Rushmore, Cowboy Mount Rushmore with Bill from R&B Sports Cards.
Skol Brothers out.
All right.